We're going to be going over semi-permanent hair color this morning. We've already had temporary, and we know it does not make a chemical change. The true semi-permanent does not either. And I've set out a couple of examples here this morning of semi-permanent. We want to be careful with semi-permanent because in temporary, you know, the most popular one was color rinses. We put it on freshly shampooed hair. This type of semi-permanent we also do. But if you're going to buy something like Loving Care at the Walmart or somewhere, they bring in something, it goes on dry hair. The application techniques for it are very simple. You just put it on all over the head. You don't have any of this sectioning off, you know, and putting it on ½ inch from the scalp or anything, since there is no chemical change. A lot of companies now are advertising their products as semi, and I told y'all I was going to include demi-permanent in with this lecture. This is demi-permanent, put out by Redken. This is L'Oreal's demi that they call semi, and this is Clairol's demi that they call semi. Now, with true semi-permanent hair coloring, you make no chemical change in the hair, and the reason these demis, I don't like to classify them as semi-permanent. They do make a chemical change. If you'll notice, I've set something out here side of each one of the demi-permanent, and they call it an activator. And they say it's semi-permanent, that it does not create lift. Hydrogen peroxide added to permanent color is what creates lift. And you use 10 volume, 20 volume, or 30 volume in permanent hair color to create that lift. 10 volume creating one level of lift. And y'all remember now what levels are, the lightness or darkness. 20 volume creates two levels of lift. 30 volume creates 3 levels of lift. 40 volume creates 4 levels of lift, and that's as high as we can go with permanent hair color. But the fact of the matter is, this will not create a 10 volume lift or 1 level lift because it's not 10 volume. It's like 7 volume. So that would be 7/10, or it creates almost a level. So that's why I classify this as permanent, whereas a lot of manufacturers classify it as semi-permanent. Semi-permanent hair colors are good to blend gray. They're good to revive color that seems to have gotten dull or whatever, you know, like we get out in the sun and it lifts some of it. They cannot lighten, just like temporary, they cannot lighten because there's no chemical change there. They can only darken or brighten. Personally, I like semi only for one reason, and that again is to brighten or get rid of the dullness in gray hair or hair that has been lightened. I do not like it on dark hair to blend gray because most gray is too resistant. Since this is a coating, it doesn't allow any of it to get in. These do not have molecules as big as the temporary color, so some of them will be allowed to go in porous hair. I also don't like it because it's developed to last from 4 to 6 shampoos. Now, used to that would be from 4 to 6 weeks, but now that people shampoo more and more, in 4 to 6 shampoos, that means a week and a half it's probably gone. And it makes them want to have you apply it again. And what happens when we start applying it over and over, on the ends, some of it was absorbed because we know most hair ends are porous. Some of it's absorbed. And then after they've done that about 6 or 8 times, you begin to notice an orange cast to the hair or a green cast. And what caused that was the base colors. And I just chose some randomly, so I don't know what kind of base color I've got here. But y'all know we went over the bases the other day. The base of this is violet. So if we kept coating over and over on the hair ends, what color is the hair going to be? Violet. This one is violet or neutral, so again we're going to get the violet. You might know I picked all violets. But if it was green base, and y'all do know they come in that, or orange base, that's what we're going to wind up with stained on the ends. So semi-permanents do not lift any color. Alright. Another thing I do not like about them is the first shampoo or two. Y'all remember what we said about darkening with temporary color, that it rubs off and it runs off? Same thing's going to apply with this, because it is a coating dye, and until we've shampooed it a couple of times and almost got most of it out, it's going to rub off on us. And this is very popular in the black colors and all that. But somebody used one last week, and I don't remember if it was one of y'all or not, that was in the red tones, and it had a red-orange base, I believe, or at least a red base. Y'all remember the client I'm talking about? Had a lot of gray through here, and she wound up with pink hair. And that's because we coated red on top of white. What does red and white make? Pink. So my advice in that case was to go back and put something down, like in your brown shades, and hope it would coat, and then coat with the red, or amethyst, I think was the color, coat with it on top. So that's some of your disadvantages. Your advantages to semi-permanent colors, if we've got somebody with light hair that wants to see how they look dark, you know, with the darker hair, they can put this on there. And for people that don't have a lot of gray or just want some shine to their hair, because actually some of these semi-permanent hair colors come in just clear, and that's what this is here. It's just nothing but clear. It's there for a gloss. I like them for that. But frankly, for somebody that's going to color, you need to go on to permanent hair color or these demi-permanents. All right, questions?